Hey, fourth grade. We're back again looking at our 17A pretest, and let's see how you did on this. Okay, so hopefully you're doing well in math, and if you have any questions, you can have your parents email me, or you guys can email me or put something on the blog. All right, let's take a look here. It takes Kylie 30 minutes to ride her bike to work. At what time should Kylie start riding her bike to work if she wants to arrive at 12:05 p.m.? All right, so 30 minutes, and we have 12:05 p.m. All right, so if we go back 5 minutes, we know we're at noon. Okay, so that's 5 minutes. And I need 25 more minutes to get there. So if I go back 25 minutes from 12, I'm at 11:35 a.m. 11:35 a.m. All right, so we can think about going back. If you want to think of the hard part about here in subtraction, the actual subtraction, is the fact that we're going back to an AM, but also when we do by time, if we're going back 30 minutes, okay, if we're going back 30 minutes, I have 5 minutes minus 30 minutes, can't do that. So I would take an hour away and I would make it into 60 minutes, so I'd add 60 to here. So we're at 65. And then we do 5 minus 0 is 5, 6 minus 3 is 3, and then our 11. Okay, so if you're going to do actual subtraction with it, you have to remember that if I take a group of an hour away, I have to add 60 to whatever I have here, and then subtract. Okay? Otherwise, you can do a visual, you can count backwards, however it makes it easiest for you to find your answer. Okay? All right. Number 2, Myra can walk 1 mile in 12 minutes. At that rate, how far can Myra walk in an hour? In an hour. And here we're talking about minutes. So we have to think how many 12 minutes are in an hour. So if I think of how many 12 minutes do I have in an hour, well, we just said we had 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm going to add groups of 12 until I get to the number 60. We're at 36, or if you know your 12s, that would help. But I'm just going to show the basic way to get here, and then I'll show you a different way if you want. 12 more. There's my 60. Okay, I'm at 60 minutes. So I have 1 group of 12, 2 groups of 12, 3 groups of 12, 4 groups of 12, 5 groups of 12. So she can walk 5 miles in an hour. Okay, she can walk 5 miles in an hour. How else would you do that? Well, you could do 60 divided by 12, but I think at this point you might just want to do adding up groups of 12 until you get to that 60 minutes. That's that hour. Okay, so and the 12 I'm getting because of this right here, because 12 minutes is 1 mile. So every group of 12 is another mile. 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. And then I can check that, because I can check it by saying 12 times 5. 12 times 5 gives me 60, and that's my hour. Okay? So you could double check it that way. All right, number 3. Bertrand rented 3 DVDs for $3.97 each. The sales tax was 89 cents. What was the total price? So first of all, we have $3.97 each, and there was 3 for that each, so we can multiply it by 3. 7 times 3 is 21, carry your 2. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 2 more is 29. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 more is 11. So you have $11.91 for the DVDs, but then there's 89-cent sales tax. So we add that 89 cents onto there, and we get $12.80. So my total price here would be $12.80. Now, if Bertrand paid with a $20 bill, how much change did he get back? So we have our $20 bill minus that $12.80, and 0 minus 0 is 0. 0 minus 8 can't do, remember, because if there's more on the floor, we have to go next door. There's nothing next door, so we go next door again. And we take out that 1, break that 1 apart, becomes 10. 10 changes to a 9 because we're going to give 1 to the column before. Now we have 10 there. So that would be one place I would see, make sure you have that a 1 here, a 9 here, and a 10 here. 10 minus 8 is 2, decimal point. 9 minus 2 is 7, dollar sign. So $7.20 should be the change he gets back. We can double check that. 0 and 0 is 0. 2 and 8 is 10, carry my 1. 7 and 2 is 9, plus 1 more is 10, carry my 1. 1 and 1 is 2. Okay, take your time, check your answers, make sure that things are going well for it, okay? Alrighty. So now we're using this graph. We've got pets of the class, number of students, dogs, cats, and other. How many students have dogs or cats as pets? So dogs, we have 8 plus the cats, which is 7, because this is halfway between 6 and 8. So we add those two together and we get 15. So there's 15 students that have either a cat or a dog. Okay? When you have the or, you want to add both of them together. Okay? All right. Hopefully that column's okay. Next column. Tanzu bought a rectangular lot. Okay, we're going to draw a rectangle. That was 6 miles long and 4 miles wide. Half of the land was wetlands. How many squares of miles of wetland was the wetlands? All right, so we're talking about the squares, which square miles tells me we're talking about area. Okay, so I'm going to first find the area. 6 times 4 is 24. So I have 24, but half of that, so I got to cut it in half or divide it by 2. And that's going to equal 12. So 12 square miles were wetlands. I could also visually put it into that picture. So there's 4 lines here. We're going to cut this in half and then do 3 on each side. Okay. All right, so right there we have all of our parts. We have 24 squares in there. So I could then take half of that and fill it in as wetlands, or fill it in as not wetlands. Either way it works. And then I could count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that's what we have there. Okay? All right, number 6. Which angle appears to be a 90-degree angle? 90 degrees, remember, looks like an L, or has a little square in the corner. So if I look at which one has a square in the corner, that would be B. To look at these angles here, I would say A is about 45 degrees. I would say D is 180 degrees. A straight out is 180 degrees. And this one here, well, if this is 90 and this is 180, I would say it's halfway between 90 and 180, so maybe 125 degrees. Okay, just to give you an idea, because you don't know what's going to be on your test tomorrow. You might have an acute angle, an obtuse angle. You don't know, but I want you to get an idea of what that might look like. Okay? All right, number 7. Let's take a look at 7. Round 7,496 to the nearest thousand. Okay, first of all, I'm going to write the number down. 7,000. 7,000. This 1,000 tells me that I need a comma. So 7 and then the 1,000. 496. 496. Always double check that too. 496, 496, 496. Because sometimes our eyes read it real quick and we might read it wrong. So we just want to make sure that's right. To the nearest 1,000. All right, so to the nearest 1,000, we'd either say it's closer to 7,000 or it's closer to 8,000. And because this is less than halfway, 7,500 or 7,500 would be halfway, we aren't even halfway yet, so it's closer to go backwards, and we go 7,000. Okay, halfway and above, we can keep going to the bigger one. If we're not halfway, it's better to go back. Right? All right. 3 pounds is how many ounces? So we have to remember how many ounces in a pound. So there is 16 ounces equals 1 pound. LB, properly done as LB. Okay, so 16 ounces in a pound. So if I have 3 pounds, I multiply that by 3. 18, carry my 1, so it's 48 ounces. 48 ounces. All right, so when you're looking at your test tomorrow, just kind of be ready for different conversions. If you're not sure about the conversions, then at this point, because we haven't been doing it like face-to-face, I would say if you have your planner, you have another device that tells you how many pounds are an ounce, or how many, ounces, or how many, pounds in a ton, or whatever. I don't think there's too many other ones that they would give you, so I would say the ones you want to know are 16 ounces equals 1 pound, and that 2,000 pounds equals 1 ton. Okay, as far as measurement is concerned, those are your 2 biggies: pounds, ounces, and tons. All right, number 9. 1/3 of the 21 dogs are retrievers. How many dogs are retrievers? 1/3 of 21. So we're breaking them into 3 groups. So we take 21 and we break it into 3 groups. So how many 3's can I get out of 21? 7 with 0 remainder, so 7 dogs are retrievers. Okay, whenever you have a fraction like that, the denominator is what you're going to divide it by. So if you have a number 21 or 24 or 30, whatever it is, you're going to divide that number by the denominator. If this was 4, I'd divide it by 4. If it was 9, I'd divide it by 9. Okay? So that's your front side of your practice test. On to the back side. All right. We have 435 1,000ths, and we want to write it as a decimal. So as a decimal, whenever you're writing a decimal, look at how many zeros you have. How many zeros you have in that, if it's like 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever. If you have that, this will tell you that you have 3 digits in your answer. It also tells me that's a fraction, so it's not a whole, so it's going to be a decimal point in front of it. And when you have something like this, if it has that 10, 100,000, that type of thing, the top number, we don't need to do any division or anything. We just can write it down just like that. Okay, and that's how we'd say it too, 435 thousandths, because it's in the thousandths column. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. All right, now we're going to write the other one as a fraction. So we take that, that's our top number, 321. And then our bottom number, we have 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal point, so we need 3 digits after, or 3 zeros, and then the 1. So we have 321 1/1000ths. All right, next one here, we're going to add 8 and 7 is 15. I carry my 1. 7 and 2 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. And I carry my 1, put my decimal point in there. 6 and 3 is 9, plus 1 more is 10. Carry my 1. 5 and 1 is 6. Dollar sign in there. So I get $60.05. Double check your work because it's really easy to make this be like 14 and 1 is 15 because we're so used to doing multiplication now that you really have to switch your brain gears to either addition or subtraction or multiplication or division. We got to make sure we're doing the right thing. All right, number 13. 6 and 1 is 7, 0 and 9 is 9, 4 and 5 is 9, decimal point, 7 and 2 is 9, and 8 and 1 is 9. Okay, no dollar sign, but the decimal point's in there. So we have 99 and 997 thousandths. 99 and 997 thousandths. All right, number 14. 7 and 1 is 7. 7 and 2 is 14. Carry your 1. 7 and 6 is 42, plus 1 more is 43. 4,347. Okay, for 15, we have 2 zeros. So we're going to cross off those 2 zeros and we're going to write them over here. Now we'll do the basic fact. 1 times 11 is 11. So I have 1,100. That's the way I want you to do those type of ones. Okay? Make life easier when it comes to your multiplication like that. All right, division here. I'm going to put my decimal point up right away. I'm going to put my dollar sign right away. I know that 6 can't go into 5, so I'm going to put my 0 there just to make sure that I don't put my number over that 5, but I'm looking at how many 6s can I get out of 54. Well, 9, so we put that on the roof right above the 4. Roof times the floor, door ends up on the floor, right? This is mom multiply. Sister subtract. So we have 54 minus 54, that gives us 0. Brother in town, so bring him on down. Brother's going to get advice from dad, so back to division. So how many 6s can we get out of 6? 1, that's our division, and dad's the only one on the roof. So dad's on the roof, their answer is 1. This is where a lot of people get confused. They put their 1 down here, and that's not the place. How many 6s can I get out of 6? That's a division, so that has to go on top here. That's not mom yet. Now mom, we go roof times the door ends up on the floor. 1 times 6 is 6. Sister subtract. 0. No brother in town, so that's Rover left over. And we don't have any leftovers, no remainders, so it's 91 cents. 91 cents. All right, our next column, 21 divided by 7 is 3. Always do what's in parentheses first. So 21 divided by 7 is 3. Then I have 3,000. So I'm going to write my 3,000 over here. And I'm going to divide it by 3. So how many 3's do I get out of 3? 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Sister subtract 0. If you have a 0 here and you have all zeros over here, okay? If you have all zeros over here and you end up with 0 remainders, nothing's going to change at that point, so we can just put our 3 zeros up top. And we don't have to do how many zeros or how many 3's can we get a 0, 0, 0 times 0, 3 is 0. We don't have to go through all the zeros. So this would be 1,000. And we know 1,000 times 3 gives us 3,000. All right, these ones here, when you have 7m or 7 times m equals 560, well, I need the opposite of multiplication's division. So I know this number has to be smaller than 560, so that means I have to divide. So 560 divided by 7. How many 7's do we get out of 56? 8. 8 times 7, 56. Sister subtract. Brother in town, so bring him on down. How many 7s do we get out of 0? 0. 0 times 7 is 0. Nothing left over, so M equals 80. M equals 80. Okay? 2 more to go. So we have an N in the middle here. We've got a bunch of numbers, and then we have 208. So the first thing you want to do is do some adding of numbers. I like to do a couple numbers together and then move it to the side. So like I would do 18 and 77 here, and that would equal 7, 8, 9, 95. Okay, so I use those two. And then I might do 4 and 40 is 44. And then I probably do 44 and 80 or 28 together. And that's going to give me 12, carry my 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 72. I'm going to add those two together. So I get 167. Okay, you can add it however you want. If you want to add column by column, do 8 and 4 is 12, and then 8 is 20, and 7 is 27. Carry your 2. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 and 4 is 8, 9, and then 7 more is 16. Absolutely fine. Okay, I'm just showing you a strategy that I use. Okay, 8 minus 7 is 1. Cross off your 2, make it a 1. We're on the floor, that's why. This becomes a 10 because we broke that one apart and made it a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4, so N would equal 41. And if I were not saving so much time, I would go ahead and put it in here and I'd add it up and make sure it equals 208. That's the other thing. If you plug in the number here to here, you should get the answer that they have right there. If you don't, then something was not right. Same with up here. You could do 80 times 7 and make sure it's 560. All right, down the bottom here, you have a few combinations of things you can do. For right now, what I would do with you, if it was a 0, I would cross off the 0. I'd put your 0 there. Then you can just do 67 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Put your 1 down there. 3 times 6 is 18. Plus 2 more is 20. And you get 2010. All right, that would be the same as doing 67 times 30, where you drop your 0 off to the side. You could do it that way. Drop your 0 down, then do that. Okay, or you could just do it 67 times 30 and 67 times 0, and then add your answers together, which you're still going to get 2010. Okay, you have multiple ways to find that type of answer. And I didn't even do the one where we break apart all of them and make it a box. I don't think we've done that one yet. Maybe we have. I might have showed it to you. But that's your practice test. Okay, go over the ones, especially the ones you got wrong, and figure out what you did wrong. And then tomorrow when you take your test, you will be all set. Okay? Blessings on your day, and I will be anxious to see what you did on your test and hand it in your test to me. All right, take care.